Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to talk to you about how to travel very cheaply to Portugal. It will be a very complete video teaching you how you will plan your entire trip there, saving as much as possible on everything, how to save on airfare, accommodation, what's the cheapest season, transportation, train, car rental, Uber, cab, what's the cheapest way to travel, food, how to save on tours, buy the things before or not. In short, very nice tips that will help you on your trip to Portugal. So stay tuned to the video, guys. Don't forget to give us a like if you like the video, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, Portugal is one of the most popular destinations for tourists. After the pandemic, traveling in general to Europe, the United States, almost anywhere in the world became a little bit more expensive. Yes, things have gone up. But of course, we are here to help you with this mega updated video to help you save money on everything possible, so you can travel as cheaply as possible to Portugal if you plan everything well and pay attention to the end. The first tip that greatly influences the budget of your trip, and in fact it's for any country in Europe, is the season. You should travel during the low seasons, that are high seasons when everything is more crowded, more expensive, and it really makes a difference. It's the summer, the high season months that are the summer months that start at the end of June and go through July, August, and the beginning of September. July and August are the most expensive months, mainly in the beach destinations, that is beaches, islands. So if you can avoid these months, in the month of December, that is festivities, New Year's, everyone wants to travel, and it's also fairs in many places of the world, you will have already the things to save a good amount in your budget. Remembering that there in Europe, December, November, and January is winter, mainly December and January. So we try to avoid these months that are very cold. It's really cold. So if you manage to travel in the other months, you already save money and can enjoy your trip much more. Avoiding the high season is the first step to save money. Now let's go to the first service that you have to hire when you plan your trip, which is the airline ticket. Unfortunately, the tickets are really high, they are expensive, but we don't have much of a secret when it comes to airline tickets. Our tip is to research a lot. We always research and keep researching. There is a website that helps us a lot. I'll leave the link here below in the description of the video and in the comments as well. It's a very cool site that compares the price in all airlines and shows you all the flights that are there, and with it you can search every day alternative times, and every now and then a promotion appears, new flights appear, and when the new flight appears the prices are cheaper. So do some research. Another tip, if you're going to the other countries in Europe besides this one, you can also search for flights to the other countries. Sometimes there's a cheaper ticket going to another city, another country, so research these options too. For Europe in general, usually Portugal has the cheapest tickets. Spain also, London and Paris have very good promotions and cheap tickets. So do some research, check your itinerary, and maybe we'll find another option that's cheaper than the one you're researching in the first place, since you have many possible destinations in Europe. Now let's talk about the lodging. The accommodation in Portugal in general is not expensive. Both in Lisbon, Porto, the beaches of Algarve tend to have cheap and good hotels, so research a lot. A tip that works well with all tourist cities is to try to stay a little away from the touristy area. The further away from the tourist center you go, the cheaper the hotels get. But be a little bit careful not to go too far out, because you are well located. Even if you pay a little bit more for the lodging, you are close to everything. You can do things on foot, walking, using public transportation, so it has its pros and cons. So try not to get too far away. To make it easier, we were able to put together a very nice personalized map. I'll leave it here in the description and in the comments here below. take a look there. It's a customized map of the main cities, which area is already delimited. So you open the map, there is this region, you get as far into the center of the region as possible. You're in the best possible location. The further out you go, the cheaper you get, because you're getting a little bit further away from the center. And the golden tip is to buy in advance. With lodging, there's no way. The earlier you book your hotel, the cheaper you will pay. This works for the whole world. The tourism market is like that. As the rooms are sold out and the hotels are running out of rooms, they are pushing the price up. So the sooner you make a reservation, the cheaper you pay, and this is the way you can save more on accommodation and in hotels. And that's where we come in. As sites that we like a lot, we only make our reservations through there because it's really the biggest in the world. I am sure you know it. The personalized map is already inside. Take a look there. What happens? This site allows you to cancel for free. It has a free cancellation negotiation with almost every hotel in the world. You enter, look around, see a good price, make a reservation, because this price will increase week by week, day by day. Then if you want to cancel, change hotels, change neighborhood, you can cancel in one click. There's no bureaucracy. You don't pay anything. So use this strategy. We use it a lot. You already know where you're going. Search, get a nice hotel, see a good price, book it. Later, if you need to cancel, that's why this site helps a lot. And I'll leave below in the description the hotels that we stayed in, which are hotels with good cost, good location, and we loved them. I'm going to leave them below in this site as well. Take a look. Check the price at the time you're going to travel, but if you search and do it in advance, you can save a lot on lodging. Yes, just take a look there, research a lot, and book it in advance. This is good for anywhere in the world. Now let's go to the tours. Of course, you will have to do a lot of sightseeing. There are many nice things to do in Portugal. A good tip is that a lot of things are free. Just walking around the city, staying in the center of Lisbon, of Porto, the small towns further away. These are already cool tours. The squares, all of this is free to see monuments, the Tower of Belém. You can do many nice things without spending anything. You will be walking, taking pictures, strolling. It's already a nice saving. But there are always the cool tourist attractions that you need to buy tickets for. That are very nice tours to small towns very close to Lisbon. Sintra is sensational, Cascais. There are many nice places for you to explore, and then you have to buy the ticket or the tour. Our tip, always buy in advance, that you will pay cheaper. There are several sites where you can pay in your currency and you don't need to pay IOF, so you end up saving a little bit more money. Buying in advance helps a lot. There's a site that we buy from. It's the biggest ticket and tour site in Europe, and now I think in the world. They are giants. They are very good because they have all the tours. The price is very good, and until today, every time we used them in Europe, it was sensational. Good tours, everything very good. So take a look at their site. We always do it there. It's cheaper and in your currency. So I'll leave the link here below as well. Take a look there so you can get an idea of the prices, the main tours, get organized and make a plan. And also watch our video after what to do in Lisbon, what to do in Porto, where we talk more about the sites, the tours, the places. It's pretty cool. I think you're gonna have a pretty cool idea of what to do, the nice tours, so we can get into more details about the tours themselves. So I think you're gonna like this ones. Oh, and people, just a second, very quickly, anyone who wants to can send us any doubts about traveling that we are always trying to help. It's taking a while because a lot of messages are coming in, but to make it easier, add me on @Lorenzi on Instagram, send me a direct with your question that I'll try to answer, and take the opportunity to follow us there. We are always traveling around the world. We are living in Orlando now, here in the United States. We moved here about a year ago. There's also a new channel, Família Lorenzi. Subscribe there later. It's really cool. We show the routine here in the United States, the daily life, the Disney parks, all the attractions. Take a look there, subscribe, give us some help, and you will like it. Now for the tips on how to save money with food. The food's not so cheap, especially because everything is in euros. It ends up being a little more expensive, there's no way. But here are some nice tips. When you arrive, try to find a grocery store or something that sells food that you can buy much cheaper. Already buy a package of water, buy some things to drink, juices, snacks, bars, snacks, whatever you're going to consume during the day, because it's already a very good saving. People in the hotel, if you drink water, it costs 2 or 3 euros. It's expensive. In these places, you buy for 4 or 5 euros a box with a bunch of bottles and use them on your trip. Do this and you will save a lot of money. And in the restaurants, always try to stay away from the tourist areas. It will be right in front of the main attraction of the city. Any restaurant around it's going to be much more expensive. So 4 or 5 blocks that you walk out of these zones, you already find restaurants that are just as good for much less. So this also helps a lot to get emptier restaurants, more local restaurants. We like to do that a lot, and most of the time it works a lot. We find good restaurants even better than these ones in the tourist spots, and we pay a lot less money. Oh, and an extra tip on food. In restaurants, you can ask for tap water, which is the tap water, because there is in most countries in Europe, it's filtered. So they give you a glass of cold water and you don't pay anything for it. We didn't know about this tip the first time we went to Italy. We asked for a water at a restaurant. He asked a bottle of water and I said yes. He came back with a bottle that we paid 8 euros for. Converting it to 8 euros is a good value. We didn't know. We did that about 3 times, but then we found out and never paid that amount again for water. That's not cheap in euros. So tap water is a way of saving money as well. And now talking about shopping. Shopping, of course, Europe's not like the United States where you can get everything much cheaper, but there are some really cool things. I think Portugal is the best country in Europe for shopping. And if you want to buy a lot, it's a little bit more distant. You will spend a whole day to go there, about 40-50 minutes from Lisbon. There is an outlet called Freeport. It's the Freeport outlet there in Lisbon. It's very good. It has the best prices. Many people consider it the best outlet in Europe. So if your idea is to shop, go there. If not, during the city you can find Zara, H&M on the street. Take a look there and you will always find a good store. It's a little bit different from the high street stores, from the more touristy streets, because it follows the same issue as the restaurants. Things are more expensive. They raise the prices for the tourists. So try to explore it a little bit in the other places that you're gonna find things that are just as cool. And a very nice tip is the tax-free. It's the tax-free fund. People call it in many ways. In the whole of Europe, almost every country there, they have a tax-free or tax refund. What is it? When you make a purchase of a product, you go into a store and buy a bag, a backpack, an outfit, or whatever. You pay the value, which is the tax charged by the government, by the city. What do they understand? That if you're a tourist, you're not going to take advantage of this tax because you're not going to live there. You're going to go back to your country. So they allow you to recover this money. It's very nice. It's around 17 to 25% of the value. It varies a lot from country to country, but it's very easy. Most of the stores, the big stores, already participate. They usually have a sticker in the store. You can ask if the attendant if they have a tax-free. Most of them do. When you buy a certain product over a certain amount of money, you can opt for being tax-free. Most of the time the attendant asks and you say yes. They will give you a form, the receipt, everything you need to fill out. Take your passport because it will put your data, your names on its form. You put them all together, and at the end of the trip, regardless of which country you're in, at the last airport in Europe, when you go back to your country, you go to the tax-free fund and they have all these receipts and get them in cash. They give you cash or credit card or check. It's very easy. It really works. So it's a nice economy. Our last time to us 21%, so it's a good money back to us. Do some research, type in tax-free in the country you're going to, check out the rules, but it's very easy to do. In general, people don't have a lot of problems. Just you get the receipts, you get everything, and you get your money back. It's very simple. And now let's talk about international travel insurance. For those who don't know, it's mandatory for almost all countries in Europe, so you will have to take one. But people, it's very cheap. When I first heard about it, I thought it was expensive, but it's really cheap. To give you an idea, for a trip of 7 or 8 days, we'll pay maybe 18 euros. A good travel insurance that will cover you for medical assistance, theft, all luggage, several things that can happen during the trip. A doctor's appointment, a hospitalization in Europe is a fortune. That's why they make this travel insurance mandatory mandatory. So the obligation is you have to have travel insurance that covers over $30,000 in medical assistance. It seems like a lot, but the price with this large coverage is the price I told you about. So it's cheap. Do it right away. Get it printed so you don't have any problems when you enter Europe. There is a site that we use that's amazing. It's a comparator, a tool that compares travel insurance in the biggest travel insurance companies in the world, and in just about 10-30 seconds it shows you all the travel insurance options of all these insurers. You can immediately see which are the cheapest, which are the best, and choose your own. People, it's cheaper there than in the insurance companies themselves because it's the biggest comparator in the world. They have a very strong negotiation with these insurance companies, so there is the cheapest place that we found until today. It's very easy, simple. Their support is very good. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat room and they answer very quickly. So take a look there and you will see that's not expensive and it's very easy. I will also, guys, leave the link here in the description of the video and also in the comments as well. All the links that I'll mention here in the video, I'll leave them in the video description and in the comments. It's easier to access from the computer, which is easier for you to plan, make your reservations, opening the sites. So if you have some time later, open it on your computer, find the description of the video, the comments, and go through them one by one. It helps a lot to plan and get an idea of the entire value for your trip. Another service that's important to hire when traveling, even more nowadays, is the travel chip. Traveling today without using the internet is very complicated, even to work, to communicate with family, friends, and to explore the place. With the internet working there, you can use maps, Waze, search for store information, addresses, everything. You end up being connected to the world, so it's very important for you to have the connection there. You can activate international roaming from your local carrier, which you already have your account today. It's usually very expensive. It's not worth it. Some carriers sometimes offer promotions. Take a look at yours, but in most cases it's not worth it. What most people do is buy a prepaid international chip, which is a chip from the country that will work. You will have your cell phone for a certain period. You buy the package there and that's it. Then you don't pay anything else. It's much cheaper and you have two options. You can buy it in advance and you can buy it when you get there in Europe. What are the differences? When you get there in Europe, if you look for the chip to buy, you will pay a little bit cheaper. Yes, it's a little bit cheaper, but in our opinion, it's not worth it because you will have to go there, you will arrive at the airport without internet, you will have to look for a store, communicate in another language, put in your cell phone. If you have any questions, the support, you name it. We have done this a couple of times and we didn't like it. We think that the economy was not worth it. So if you want to save the most, this is the cheapest place. But if you want to pay a little bit more, we think it's more advantageous to buy the chip before you travel. They send you an electronic chip that works very well. It's a digital chip. The newer devices today accepted it. You receive a QR code, and on the same day you install it and you already have the package with the internet to use abroad in any country in the world. Then you can use it in other trips. We think it's much better. You already travel without this worry. You don't spend hours of your day in the stores, and I think it was worth it, but it's up to each one. I'll of course leave the link. Everybody asks for the link, so I'm gonna leave the link here so you can have a look at their plans, their prices, and their support. It's very good, guys. You can talk to them, ask what the best plan for this country. They will explain everything to you, and it's gonna be very direct, very simple, very easy, and we think that surely is the best option. If you're only going to stay in Lisbon and Porto, it's very easy to get around there on foot. If you stay in a good location in Lisbon, you can do everything on foot. You don't need a car or an Uber. Sometimes we ask for an Uber once or twice to go to the distant places, but it's very easy. Now, if you're going to do the trip that we did once, which is beautiful, through the Algarve, which are the beaches of Portugal, or even through the interior to go up to Porto, go through Sintra, do this tour, then it's nice to rent the car. And the car is not as expensive as it is in other places in the world. But it did increase after the pandemic. Cars became a little bit more expensive, but it's a very nice option. And another nice option in the whole of Europe, if you go to other countries, even longer trips or even between cities, is the train. The train is very good. It works super well through the whole Europe, so it can be a great option for you for transportation as well. Now, the websites and places for you to hire all these cheaper transportation, what are they? If you want to rent a car, there's a car comparator that's just like the travel insurance comparator. It's amazing. We only use them. They compare prices at all the major car rental companies in the world and are able to find unbeatable prices. There's the cheapest place. It is also very good. We only do it there. I'll leave the link here below. Take a look. Car rental is the cheapest place of all. Take a look there. You will get an idea of the price. If you want the train, there's the site. There's a train comparator which has all the tickets. We used it a lot in our last trips. And the last option, there is also an option for those who are not going to rent the car at the airport. When they get there, it's the transfer. It's a card that will be waiting for you. You buy it beforehand and it will take you from the airport to the hotel, and you can even buy the return trip from the hotel to the airport, which is a good tip. And why? Because when you get there taking a cab or even an Uber, you will pay a certain amount for the transfer. Each one calls it one way. You end up paying cheaper. You pay in advance and you have the security of being a trustworthy company. The person will be waiting for you with your name on it. They will take you to your hotel, and so they already know your destination. There is no location error. There are none of those scams that sometimes taxi drivers give tourists or driving longer. In short, it's the safest and cheapest option. So if you're not going to rent a car, a great option to go from the airport to the hotel and then return is this transfer. There is a very good site that's actually the same site as the tickets, where we buy the tickets from Europe. I'll leave it here below as well. There you can find the transfer to almost every city in Europe. Arriving at the airport, you take to the hotel, take a look, compare the prices, and you will see that's really cheaper. And I found it much safer and more practical, especially for those who can't speak another language, right? So if you have someone to communicate, it's better for you. And other sites that I'll leave here below as well. Okay guys, just to mention quickly, I'll also mention the ferries. Ferries are gigantic boats, ships that transport people from island to island. So if you're going to a destination that has islands, we use a lot of ferries in Spain, in the Balearic Islands, in Greece, in Italy. There are also a lot. Take a look. It's a very good site for those who are going to do these island tours. The ferry option is very nice. And also the sports games. There's a very good site if you want to watch a European soccer game and other sports. It's a very nice experience. Take a look at this site. You can catch a game, a soccer game in Europe. It's very nice. It's worth watching. There are a lot of sports that you can choose from. And that's it guys, I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel, because that really helps us a lot. And don't forget to check out the other videos from Portugal that are very good. Check out a lot of cool videos that will help you on your trip. Here I'll leave the playlist with all the other videos from Portugal for you to choose and watch. So thank you very much guys, see you next video and have nice trips.